there will be many people gathering all over the world today to enact, whether it's virtually or whether it's in person, to enact an alternative remembrance. And we do that as people who work for peace, who want to build better alternatives to war, because everyone's impacted by war, whether it's civilians that have experienced trauma, whether it's soldiers that have experienced trauma, whether it's people that look like us, whether it's people that we're told are on the other side. We're all damaged by war, and the more we acknowledge that and take time to reflect on that, surely the more of us will want to work to build peaceful alternatives before the violence hits. And there surely is a lot of violence that people are experiencing in the world just now. And one of the rays of hope that I find is in the example of people who have been able to overcome the propaganda, the narratives that they've been brought up with, that teach them that somebody on the other side of a conflict is less than human. And as soon as we see each other all as humans, then it becomes much more difficult to kill and to hurt people. So this is a song, it's not in my words, it's in the words of Israeli soldiers, and lots of the words in this song came from the testimonies that have been collected by an organisation, a group called Breaking the Silence. And some of you will have heard of them. They're an Israeli ex-combatant organisation, and they were begun by a group of Israeli soldiers who looked around at themselves and said, what are we doing? And began by telling people what they had done. And they've been going for a number of years now, and what they do is they try and speak to people within their own communities within Israel to say, this is what our army is doing, this is what our military is doing, and it isn't okay. And it's an incredibly brave thing to do, and it really helps to reset the narrative and to cut through some of the lies that powerful politicians use to manipulate people. So this is Breaking the Silence, and as I say, it's not my words, it's the words of soldiers, or people that were turned to be soldiers. When I was a boy at school, I thought that I would grow to be a soldier in a moral army to defend my home. And the history books kept telling me about the bloody war. They said there never was another country wanted us before. In all this fight and talk, I grew up fearing for my home. It's always us and them, never again. I'm so afraid of the unknown, for I've only seen your faces through the barrel of my gun. Now I think it's time to meet another way. Yeah, it's time I threw my weapon down, admit to what I've done. All the things I thought I'd never do, I've done to you. Now I wear a uniform and soldier is my name. I was trained to follow orders, never trained to take the blame. I was trained to fight an army, now I don't know what to do. I'm just standing in a village, occupying family homes. Nobody sleeps at night for fear of what we'll do. They're all afraid and we're afraid and everybody's losing. I've only seen your faces through the barrel of my gun. Now I think it's time to meet another way. Yeah, it's time I threw my weapon down, admit to what I've done. All the things I thought I'd never do, I've done to you. Yesterday I stripped a man, put him on his knees. I tied his hands behind him, put a blindfold on his eyes. And I want to tell my mother and my father what I've done. All they're hearing on the radio, this moral army song. But all these politicians hide the truth. It's black and white for easy use. Paint a picture, build a wall to block reality from view. And I've only seen your faces through the barrel of my gun. Now I think it's time times I shot a little girl, I left her dying. All your daughters, all your sons, they did the things I did. Just like me, they followed orders, crossed a line they thought they'd drawn. Every day humiliating people I don't know, every day disrupting everything that anyone might do. And I've only seen your faces through the barrel of my gun. Now I think it's time to meet another way. Yeah, it's time I threw my weapon down, admit to what I've done. All the things I thought I'd never do, I've done to you. Before I joined the army, I knew right and I knew wrong. But all the things that shocked me yesterday, today my hands have done. I got used to all the power, I got used to shooting guns, I got used to searching children and controlling everyone. But all my feelings disappeared, my body it went numb. I don't remember who I am, I can't believe the things I've done. And I've only seen your faces through the barrel of my gun. Now I think it's time to meet another way. Yeah, it's time I threw my weapon down, admit to what I've done. All the things I thought I'd never do, I've done to you. Looking in the mirror now, I know the boy I knew. And I didn't do the moral things that I thought I would do. But now the time has come to break the silence, speak the truth I've seen, to speak the truth of things I've done that never should have been. For every night I haven't slept, a million lie awake. For every night I haven't slept, a million lie awake. I've only ever seen your faces through the barrel of my gun. Now I think it's time to meet another way. Yeah, it's time I threw my weapon down, admit to what I've done.